Make sure we pop up there. All right, man. One of the questions I just love to ask Dave, in all seriousness, man, this is like one of my favorite questions. There'll be some later, but my favorite one is like, what book are you reading now, or what's inside your Audible that you would like to share with us? So, what book are you reading or have read recently, and what's a lesson you learned that we can take away from it?
I like to read and reread books over and over and over again. Right now, I'm listening to Purple Cow by Sept, a phenomenal book. Mm-hmm. It talks about standing out, finding what your unique position is in the marketplace, and getting yourself in a position to win. A lot of times we look to our left and to our right, and we're trying to figure out like, oh, this person's doing this and that person's doing that. I'm going to do what they're doing because it looks like they're winning. But if you're just doing what they're doing, you're copying what they're doing. And the best thing that you can do is actually double down on being yourself. And so Purple Cow really reinforces that for me. I think it's a phenomenal book. When you look at, and I tie things into movies, when you look at movies like Deep Cover, when Lawrence Fishburne went from being a cop to being undercover and playing a criminal, he was like, everything that was a problem for me as a cop all of a sudden became an attribute. So if you were too loud as a kid, in the business world, it works if you're loud and you're boisterous and you're bold. As long as you're not obnoxious, and I don't mean like regular obnoxious, I mean like dangerously weird, psycho obnoxious. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So Purple Cow is an amazing book. I recommend everybody go grab that. I read about 104 books a year, but
104 books a year?
Yeah, because the average CEO is reading what? One book a week.
Yeah.
And so if I read 2 books a week, then I'm doing better than the average CEO. The average black household reads 8 books a year. So, I make my decisions based on 104 pieces of information as opposed to 8 or 52. So, and I realized once I started doing that, my revenue started to increase, my marketing skills started to improve, my audience started to grow, and I started to have opportunities beget more opportunities. And so for me, it just makes sense. It's not anything that I recommend if you don't have the time to commit to it. But for me, like I'll get up early, I'll go work out, I'll go for a walk with my dog, whatever. But I'm going to get these books in.
Man, I love that, man. That's one of the things I admire about you is what you do, getting the reading in, getting the books in. 104, I didn't even think about that. I was pleased myself. I read about 2 or 3 books a month, and I listen to audibles. That's like one of my favorite things to do is listen to audibles. Right now, I'm going through for the first time a paperback book that I have not done in about 5 years called Refuse to Live Talented and Broke by Delano, man. I've been talking about this. I'm still in chapter 2 because I keep going back and rereading it because it's a workbook. So it's not really that thick and a book inside of it. Delano, I had him on the show. I was like, man, if you get an Audible, man, I would probably be done that book a couple of times, by the way. Hey, for those folks that are just finding out who you are, maybe hearing your name for the first time, we haven't got started yet, man. We're going to get started in a second. We're going to do a sound check and a mic check and all that good stuff. But can you take a moment and just maybe share a little about your backstory? Like, what's the narrative from Dave, just Dave, to now Dave Anderson, the business bully?
Yeah, man. For me, it's just a situation. I come from divorced parents. My parents split when I was 3. I lived in Philly all my life. Coming up, started in radio at 9, TV at 15. Did a couple of movie things, and I went to college. Nothing particularly remarkable. I mean, I've had things in my life that were dope, but overall, man, I'm just the son of a single mom for the projects. The thing that people don't understand is that, there's that old adage, and you hear a lot of speakers saying it now. Aerodynamically speaking, a bumblebee has, real big belly and real small wings, and it shouldn't fly. But the bumblebee doesn't know it's not supposed to fly, so it flies anyway. Well, I'm the damn bumblebee because my big ass didn't know I wasn't supposed to fly. I didn't put expectations on me, and I looked at the people who were putting expectations on me, and I didn't respect them. And so because I didn't respect their expectations, I built my own. And I've been able to retire from radio in 2011, and I've worked with everybody you can think of: Wendy Williams, DJ Clue, Charlemagne, Rickey Smiley, Les Brown, George Wallace, a bunch of folks, and I've been able to help entrepreneurs of all sizes, not just the 6 and 7 figure earners, but ones who are starting for nothing, and help them grow to 6 and 7 figures. just by using, a myriad of skills I've developed over time. So for me, it's just been a blessing to be able to be authentically me. So I'm happy, man. So if you don't know me, welcome.
Well, we're going to get started. They don't know you yet, but they will. I want to welcome Hope Speak, who's out there. What's up, Hope? My sister Kimberly Cobb is on there. What's up, Kim? That's my sister. Love you. Katisha Pitts, want to say hello to you. Thanks for joining. What's going on? Multi-Vector. Anisha's in the house. Jarvis in the house. Rob is in the house. Ty Miles is in the house. Annette's in the house. T. Jordan's in the house. V. Speak Life is in the house. Do me a favor as you're tuning in, by the way. Do me a favor. Look right below the video. Look right below the video when you first join on. And just let us know you're here. What's up, Nicole Brown Hurston? You're in for a treat. Sherry Wallace in the house. Dee Bolden said, what's up, everybody? Look, we got to get started. We've got to line up. We've got to show. If you're ready to really put money in your pocket, if you're ready to get results in your life, but put money in your pocket, then this is the episode for you. With that being said, I'm getting the countdown, Dave. Are you ready, Dave, my man?
Yes, sir. Let's make it happen.
Well, let's get going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's kick it off.
Go ahead and give a big standing ovation for the one and the only Shay Brown.
Every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up and it knows it must outrun the fastest lion or be killed and eaten. Also, every morning in Africa, a lion wakes up and knows it must outrun the slowest gazelle or it will starve to death. You've heard it before. It doesn't matter whether you're a lion or a gazelle. When the sun comes up, you better be what? You better be running. That's right. That's right. You better be running. Life is about meaning, and meaning is about service. Isn't that the reason why we're all here? Isn't that what we're all searching for? 2013, the Peak Performance Institute was created. 5,000 clients who we've helped turn their idea into a reality, their reality into a business, their business into a movement, impacting 5.7 million lives around the world. Imagine that! My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Network, the world's largest organization for the well-being of an entrepreneur. And as we always say, our mission at the Happy Entrepreneur Network, our mission is to inspire, empower, and provide resources for the entrepreneur to live a balanced life and execute their vision for the people they were called to serve. And our mantra, I love our belief. Everyone should have a belief statement. Our belief is the results that show up in your life are just as important as the results that show up in your bank account. With that being said, let's get started. Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country. And I'm super excited because we get an opportunity to put some money in your pocket so you can have more meaning in the world, especially with this episode. And let me look over and welcome the one and only Dave Anderson, the business bully. What's up, Dave Anderson?
It's a great day, Shay Brown, or it's a great night, as it were.
I like that. That's good. It's a great night. It's a great day. Hey, look, for everyone that's out there that's watching right now, I'm going to start off in just a moment. I'm going to ask Dave about this whole maximize your impact. Like, those are 3 words, and they're powerful words, but what does it mean? You got the business bully on the other side. You have the man that speaks at more radio outlets, at more online programs, on more stages to change lives for business owners every day. So I'm going to ask him, maximize your impact. What does that even mean? What does it even represent? And why is that important? Before I do that, Ashley Little, let me say hello to you. Anthony, let me say hello to you. Jarvis, thanks for joining. Jocelyn, thanks for joining. V Speak Life. All of you who are joining, do me a favor as we get started. Do me a favor. Look right below the video. Look right below the video because the promise of this is 3 words. Maximize your impact. Do me a favor. Look right below the video and write these words. Maximize my impact. Maximize my impact. Maximize my impact. Don't worry. Dave's going to talk about later how to turn that into revenue. He's going to talk about how to turn that and turn your business into a place that serves more people. Don't worry. He's going to help you in your business. But first, let me reach over and ask my good friend Dave. Dave, maximize your impact. When you say those words, and they're right there, what do you mean? What's going through your mind? And what's the message to those folks that are listening right now?
All right, so great question. When you maximize your impact, right? A lot of us do not take into account how much talent, how much skill, and how much reach we have, how much influence we have. We feel we have to be a Kardashian or some type of insta thought in order to get it off, or you got to be some type of super psycho entrepreneur running around in a Lamborghini in front of a rented Airbnb castle style mansion in order to feel like you have influence. And the truth of the matter is, you have as much influence as your consistency allows you to have. And when I talk to all different types of entrepreneurs, those who are part-time and wanting to transition out of their jobs, or those who have already hit the low, mid, high six-figure, low seven-figure mark, the situation is always the same. Oh, well, Mr. Anderson, I'm on this. I'm doing that. I've made this happen, and all of these things are going well. So I'm already, I'm on Facebook, and I'm like, but what about Instagram? What about Snapchat? What about TikTok? What about podcasts? What about radio shows? What about TV segments have you pitched? Things like that. Oh, well, TikTok is for kids, so I don't want to do that. I'm like, listen, if there is a person right now that is massaging their body in a large bowl of rice in Indochina, I'm going to be there. I'm a big believer in omnipresence. Maximize your impact. Take that audio from that live video that you did on Facebook and chop it up and put it in your podcast. Take those clips from that speech you gave at the VFW that had 5 people in the audience, and you had one impactful statement, and use 60 seconds of that impactful statement to put on your Instagram. Do stories. Take your camera and go through your Instagram stories and just start shooting. Like, put content out. The thing that kills me is we have a Halley's Comet syndrome where we think that we need everything to be perfect, and the only time it's going to be perfect is when the stars line and Halley's Comet comes around once every 86 years. And the truth of the matter is, you don't need to be perfect now. What you need to do is to start to be consistent so people, A, get familiar with you, B, know where to find you, and C, understand what it is that you have for them. And once you do that, you will begin to see results, because there are people who are a lot prettier than I am, a lot smarter than I am, a lot more articulate than I am, but I'm lapping them and I'm smoking them, not just in impact, but in revenue, because of my impact is consistently growing. In the same way you have compound interest at the bank is the same way you have compound interest in people's hearts when you consistently show up and provide value. So that's what I mean when I say maximizing your impact.
Wow, I love that. And not only do you talk the talk, but you walk the walk. For everyone that's out there listening right now, LaShonda Mays, Sakoni Prince, Andrea said, maximize my impact. Jamal Villar, thanks for joining. Amber Woodford, always a pleasure. Tanya Graham, thank you so much. Look right below the video. Look right below the video. And I want you to write these words: maximize my impact. Maximize my impact. Maximize my impact. Dave's going to walk us step by step on how to do that right now, how you can maximize your impact. Now, he talked about just taking a video clip. He talked about no matter who was there, what was going on, and you can share that, and that can be a piece of content that you can use later to help extend your brand and extend your brand message. Now, Dave, I know you talked about it. I know people are saying, that sounds good, that sounds good. Let me just go ahead and share just a quick snippet. I asked David, I said, Dave, do you do it? He says, I do. Hey, what's up, Jacqueline Fulton? I see you. Ashley Little, I see you. Maximize your impact. He said, Shay, I absolutely do. I said, well, I need some proof, man. Now, this is like 10 minutes before we got started. I said, Shay, I got you. Let's go ahead and roll that right now.
Be yourself. Everybody else is taking every but one Dave Anderson, baby. Now there's famous Dave who does, but he's not me. I'm the business bully, different type of Dave. But I am authentically me, whether you like it or not, whether it makes my mommy mad, whether it makes my wife mad, if it embarrasses my oldest kid, I'm not worried about it. I beat most people because I'm not worried about perfection. I'm not worried if my mohawk's a little crooked. I'm not worried that I have this big old cortisol-induced gut. I'm not worried about any of that because I'm not concerned. People get concerned about length. Length doesn't matter. I'm talking about your podcast. Get your head out the gutter. Some of y'all are thrown off. Listen, all you have to do, very simple, is be compelling. Tell a story that people care about. Who are you? What do you have? Why should I care? People don't care about anything else unless you can keep them active and entertained.
Now, Dave, you were just talking about be who you are, maximize your impact. Don't worry about what other people say. Can you tell us a story how you got into not broadcasting, but just into business and what people said and why you decided you were going to be yourself anyway? I love that clip because you said right there, it's just about who you are. And I know when I first got started and we were doing the Happy Entrepreneur Show, they told me I had to put a suit on, you got to put a tie on, you got to put a jacket on. And I respect anyone that does that. And there's a time and a place, but I said, just not for me, not every night. Dave, why is it important for entrepreneurs, speakers, authors, coaches, and trainers to be themselves, to maximize their impact? For all y'all that are joining out there right now, do me a favor. Look right below the video, and write these words: maximize my impact. Maximize my impact. Maximize my impact, and the money will come and you'll have more meaning. Dave, over to you, my man.
All right, so here's the thing. For me, it was a situation where I was never like the other kids. You know, I read a lot. I was a comic book nerd. I didn't see the point in wall ball, which you take a tennis ball, you throw it up against the wall, and if you're the guy who gets to throw the ball up against the wall, and then there's a crowd of people wanting to catch the ball so they can be it. Like, to me, that seemed like a pointless activity even then. I knew I didn't care about, latest graffiti trends or, how many members the Wu-Tang had it last week. I was more worried about how I was going to get to the next thing, the ideas that were running around in my head. And I was always told, even by teachers, Dave's a brilliant student, but he just likes to talk. Dave's a brilliant student, but his head's in the clouds. Dave is brilliant, but he doesn't want to focus on Algebra 2. And I didn't see a point in Algebra 2 because as an entrepreneur, I don't need Algebra 2. I got a damn calculator. And so I realized that all of these people were wrong because, one, none of these people were rich. Two, none of these people knew what I had inside of me, and I didn't fully understand that. So as I grew in my career, I started noticing that people, executives, other people in radio and TV would come and they'd pick my brain to ask me about this or that, and I'd give them an answer, and then I'd see them, and then they're like, "Oh, thanks, Dave. I just made 80 grand off of that tip." And I'm like, "You made 80 grand because I told you to go put this here and take that there?" I was like, "Hold up." And I said to myself, I'm making people a lot of money. Maybe I need to start figure out a way how to do that for myself. And then I realized that corporate America does not want me to go making money for myself, because if I get a taste of my own freedom, I'm going to run off that plantation. And so when the rubber hit the road, I said, I'm going to get fired. That way I can collect unemployment, and then I'm going to double down on me. And that's exactly what I did. And, last year my clients have grossed 27 million, and this year we're close to 54. Wow. So safe bet.
No, that's a
Google
super safe bet.
verifiable.
Man, let me say first, let me just acknowledge you for what you're doing and the difference you're making. I see folks out there like Andre who says, maximize my impact. Sakoni Prince says, maximize my impact. Tanisha Marie Johnson said, maximize my impact. Nicole Brown Hurston says, it's about who I am. Maximize my impact. What's up, Belinda? Good to see you. DeMarvo Rio, thanks for joining. Elena, it is always a pleasure. Sanice is in the house, says, maximize my impact. Cynthia Green, hey, I owe you a call, Cynthia Green. Thanks for joining. Maximize my what? Impact. Clark Garrison, good brother out of Atlanta. If you haven't connected with Clark Garrison yet, you've got to connect with Clark Garrison. He has one of the largest blog show platforms on the entire East Coast going across to the West Coast. Brothers bad to the bone. Thanks a lot for sharing this and paying this message forward, Clark. We appreciate it. He's with Survival Radio Network, by the way, Dave. Got to connect you guys two together. It will be a powerhouse opportunity. He says, maximize my impact. Dave, when we come back, I'm going to ask you, why do folks have a fear? Like, what holds them back? You said just jump out there, and you made it seem easy. Just jump out there. Just do it. If you want to maximize it, you got to stop talking about it, and you have to do it. When we come back, I'm going to ask Dave, how do you overcome that fear? How do you make that phone call? How do you use that technology? How do you get in front of that camera? What's the secret sauce that he's been sharing with his clients? And for all of you out there who put down maximize my impact, this is your time. Let's go over to Dr. Kenneth Thigpen. Dr. Kenneth Thigpen is talking about focus on progress, not perfection. Focus on progress. We'll be back.
Hello, it's your girl, Dr. Kenneth Thigpen, also known as Dr. K, founder of Rise Women's Network. And Rise Women's Network is pleased to present to you #Next Sister Up. Today, I'm with you in the Happy Entrepreneurs Tribe. And guess what? It's my January 1st. Here's your thought of the week. Focus on progress, not perfection. Focus on progress, not perfection. Here's the thing. It took me 3 years, count them, 1, 2, 3 years, to release my first book. Why? I was focusing on perfection. I would write and rewrite. I would read and reread. I would add stuff in and take stuff out. And I'll never forget, one of my friends had launched his book and he had posted it on social media, and someone had the nerves to comment, on page 36, there's a word that's spelled incorrectly. It should be spelled like this. And I said, that will not be me. My book is going to be perfect. Now, how crazy of me to think that my book was going to be perfect. But here's what I learned. When you focus on perfection, it slows you down. It slows you down because you're trying to obtain something that doesn't even exist. The second thing I learned was when I focus on perfection, that there was a lot of negative self-talk that was going on. I like to call it mental assault on myself. And the third thing I learned was when I was focusing on perfection, that I was inconsistent, where I would go really hard and then I would stop, and then I would go really hard and then I would stop. But on the other side, when you focus on progress, it motivates you to keep going. Chapter 1 complete, yes. Chapter 2 complete, yes. Chapter 3 complete, yes. It also, when you focus on progress, it allows you to celebrate those small successes, no matter how big or how small. And lastly, when you focus on progress, it allows you to sustain yourself for the long haul so that you can complete the project and start your next one. Remember, shift your focus from perfection to progress. I'm your girl, Dr. K. Make it a great day.
Well, make it a great day indeed. I want to welcome all of you to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. For all of our new viewers, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're excited to have you here. You're in for a treat. And for all the folks that are repeating, that have watched us on a daily basis, that support us, that hit that share button, welcome back. Welcome back. You know what's about to happen. I'm about to go into one of my favorite segments called the Champions Creed, Dave. And what I like for all of you to do is just listen for a moment, because this is one of those segments where we don't brag on who we are, but we uplift another entrepreneur. We high five another entrepreneur that's on this journey as an entrepreneur. I've run 5 marathons and they're running the marathon right now, Dave. And we're on the sideline saying, yes, you can do it. High five, keep going. And so the Champions Creed is when we reach back to the person that's doing really, really well and the pressure is on them. But you know what? We tell them to keep on going. And we're also talking to the other person that tried something and they fail, and we want them to try again. Here's how it works. I'm going to read the Champions Creed, something that was given to me by my mentor, and I love the Champions Creed. And then when I finish reading the Champions Creed, I'm going to ask my good friend Dave if he would read the Champions Creed. Now, how do you participate? How do you encourage someone else? How do you high five someone else? How do you hug and love on someone else? And here at the Happy Entrepreneur Show, we are a tribe, we are a community. Here's how you can participate. It doesn't cost you anything. Don't worry. We don't need a Cash App. You can just relax for a moment. You look right below the video. You look below the video and you write these words. You are a champion. Hashtag keep on going. Let me tell you what to do. You look right below the video, Geneva. You look right below the video, Nathan. You look right below the video, Saccone, and you write these words. You are a champion. Hashtag keep on going. And that's you telling someone else that they are a champion. And think about if you open up your inbox and in those words where you are a champion, keep on going, how you would feel. So bless someone else. Is that okay, Dave? I'm going to put this up. I don't know if you can even see it, Dave. Can you even see the words when I put it up?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, I'm going to read it first. You guys look right below the video. And y'all all right. You are a champion. Hashtag keep on going. We're going to encourage someone else. Here it is. The Happy Entrepreneur's Champions Creed. I am not judged by the number of times I fail, and I know what that's like, but by the number of times I succeed. And the number of times I succeed is in direct proportion to the number of times I can fail and keep trying, and keep trying, and keep trying. So what I want you to do now is I want you to look below the video, and I want you to encourage someone else to keep trying. I want you to let someone else know that they are a champion for just getting in the race, for just getting started. It means so much. Dave, I'm going to put it up there. And I want to do something different, Dave. If after you finish reading those words, they're going to learn about how you help folks in your articles in the Huffington Post. They're going to learn about you being on the Breakfast Club, okay? They're going to learn about you being part of the Ebony platform. They're going to learn all the books you've written. You're going to talk about the clients and the money you've made them. But do you mind first stepping back and telling about a time that maybe things just didn't work out for you, man? and you had to do something to encourage yourself to keep on going. Do you mind doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. So
okay, well first let me put it up so you can read it. You got to read the Champion's Creed. So let me put it back up so y'all get it on the screen for them. And all of you at home, you look right below the video just like Charles did, and you put "You are a champion." Cynthia Collins said "You are a champion. Keep on going." Tanisha Marie Johnson said "You are a champion. Keep on going." Nestle said "You are a champion. Keep on going." Dave, take it away, my man.
There it is. I am not judged by the number of times I fail, but by the number of times I succeed. And the number of times I succeed is in direct proportion to the number of times I can fail and keep trying and keep trying and keep trying.
I like it. The remix version. He knows all about that stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us about time you had to keep on trying because something just didn't work out for the business bully man himself.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody knows my homeless story, so I'm not going to bore people with that. There's enough of that on the internet. I suffer from being what's called a systematic futurist. That is somebody that believes so hard in what the future is going to be and what that looks like that most people aren't prepared for it. So in 2001, when I was working in radio and I was doing a lot of production all over the country, at that particular time, they would take reel-to-reel tapes and send the commercial to the client, or it would come into the radio station. And so I would do voiceovers, and I realized that I'm wasting a whole lot of money on reel tapes. I'm wasting a whole lot of money on packaging. I'm wasting a whole lot of money on postage. And I said, there's got to be an easier way. And I had a buddy of mine who was a mentor, and he was like, listen, I think you should just do all your stuff and send it MP3. I was like, well, don't you have to worry about viruses? Keep in mind, this is like 18 years ago. And he was like, no, there's no virus in an MP3. It's safe for people to open. We just got to get them educated to it. And I said, cool. So I went and created a company called mp3imaging.com. Mm-hmm. And I was sending out voiceover projects for everything from Walgreens to CVS and all these different companies and comedy clubs and radio stations and the whole nine. And then what I kept running up against were people was like, well, we're afraid to open the file. Just send us a reel. And now we're behind because you said it wasn't going to take that long. And now we got to wait 2 days for the reel. And so it tanked really bad. And then 9/11 happened. And so it was like 2001. So, I took a really bad L. And I was just like, okay, well, that's cool. I'll try something, I'll try something else. And I started adjusting and making moves and just doing different things. And I discovered different things that I could do digitally that you could not do on a tape. And then people wanted that sound. And so people would want to pay me to learn how I made certain sounds when I was doing voiceovers and commercials. And so, I made a business teaching people how to do that. And then other radio personalities were looking for new jobs and they wanted to put together a really good demo tape, which we call an air check. And so they would send me their stuff and then I would put together their demo. And then all of a sudden people were getting jobs left and right because, well, their demo was dope as hell. So, I got paid from that. But it was that initial, damn, I did all this. It's a really good idea. People just aren't ready for it yet, and folks didn't get ready until about 2004. So I'm usually like 3 years ahead. Hell, in 2004, I had a company called hitmeonthehip.com when two-way pagers were popular. And
two-way pages. I remember that.
I mean, I had like serious endorse. I had Jaheim, I had Birdman, I had Lil Wayne. Like I had serious endorsements, and it was taking off. But then all of a sudden, two-way pagers kind of went down. So, those are things that happen sometimes. Last one, because this one is really big. You know how everybody's big on live streaming?
Yeah.
So me and a couple of buddies, the team of the folks that took over MySpace when Justin Timberlake started to acquire his piece in it, they brought me on board for this company called Hang With. And this predates Periscope, Meerkat, all those other live streaming platforms. And I went out and did what I did, called 50 Cent, Larry the Cable Guy. And, we started having folks broadcast on it. I gave Big Tigger a share in the company. And what wound up happening was, well, we were like, okay, well, maybe Facebook will buy us. And then, we can go cake off the Silicon Valley rock out time. And then Facebook said, no, we'll just do what we always do. We'll take this stuff and then we'll run with it. So then we're like, well, maybe Twitter will buy us. Twitter's looking like they want to buy us. Well, Twitter said, no, we're going to take Periscope. Even though we had better features, people weren't there yet. So sometimes you got to be prepared. Pioneers get scalped, but settlers prosper. So you have to have the willingness of the pioneer, but the timing of the settler in order to, keep trying and keep going and keep pushing and then finally reach success.
Wow, finally reach success. For those folks that are out there listening right now, the message that he's sharing is keep on going. Look right below the video and write these words: you are a champion. You are a champion. Push that out to someone else. You are a champion. Hashtag, the hashtag most important part, keep on going. Because sometimes you don't feel like a champion, and that does happen. So how do you keep on going? How do you make it happen? How do you have these connections the way Dave has had the connections? Don't worry, when we come back, I'm going to ask Dave. Dave said I can ask him any question I want. So when we come back, I'm like, Dave, you've been able to get on these shows, right? It's not like you get on the Breakfast Club every day. You don't walk in the Huffington Post every day. He dropped some names like they were like Shay Brown, and I get that. Don't worry, he'll mention how he got on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Don't worry about that. He will do that. But I'm curious, like, how does he create the connection? How does he build the relationship? And then how does he get them to at least collaborate? Dave, we come back, you talk about maximize your impact, and we'll talk about revenue, but how do you get folks to collaborate? And you teach your clients these key skills, and we want them tonight. If folks are looking right below, I see Anthony Abrams in the house. Thanks a lot, Anthony Abrams, from joining. Saucony Prince, pioneers get scalped, but settlers, what? Prosper. Yeah. So what's the key? Let's go over to Saucony Prince. Speaking of Saucony Prince, let's go over and get the key in order to keep on trying. It takes 3 C's. I don't know what they are. You pay close attention. And we come back, Dave's going to give the 4th C, collaboration, and how you should do it as a business owner. You're here on the Happy Entrepreneur Show with none other than Dave Anderson, the business bully. You're at the right place at the right time if you're ready to maximize your impact, make more money, and make a difference in the world at the same time. We'll be back in just a moment. Can't wait.
Hello everybody, how you doing today? This is Saucony Prince of SauconyPrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. And I'm in the Happy Entrepreneur Tribe, and I am so excited. You know why? Because you guys are amazing. And look, I want to share with you my thought of the week. And my thought of the week is basically 3 C's. They are commitment, consistency, and confidence. You don't have so many people say, Saucony, I want to be more consistent. I said, no, you don't. They say, what? I said, you don't want to be more consistent. You want to be more committed. Because see, it's your commitment that drives you to be consistent. It's your commitment that's going to make sure that you are doing what it is you said you wanted to do. That commitment will remind you of what you said, what you committed to. And that commitment will drive you to consistency. But something else I've learned is that once you're consistent doing whatever it is you've been called to do, that consistency will drive you to confidence. There's no way I could do the stuff that I'm doing right now if I didn't have a commitment to do it. And then that commitment made sure that I was consistent in it. And I mean, yes, I made mistakes. Yes, I've fallen down. Yes, I fell off. But my commitment reminded me, get back up and get back in the race. And then that consistency, guess what? It built up my confidence. So if you want to have confidence, you have to have consistency. But if you want to have consistency, you have to start with commitment. And look, this is Saucony Prince of SauconyPrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. And I'm in the Happy Entrepreneur Tribe giving you my thought of the week. And I want you to learn how to be committed, consistent, and then confident. And look, I thank you, Shay, and I appreciate you. Now back over to you.
You know, it takes those 3 C's. It takes commitment. It takes consistency. You've got to have those two. And then we're going to talk about the third one. But Dave, the question that I left you hanging on the cliff was, what about collaboration? And how do you make that happen? Before you do that, I want to welcome Cheryl Graham. Thanks for joining. Ben Jones, thanks for joining. Salim said, you are a champion. Thanks for joining. Donna Zimmerman, it is always a pleasure. Letitia Campbell says, I love that saying. She's there. She got the Dave super pager. She's funny. I love it. Do me a favor, everyone out there. Hit the share button. Dave Anderson, the business bully, has given me permission. You can pay this message forward. How do you pay the message forward? How do you serve? How can you be involved? Hit that share button, hit that share button. And when you hit that share button right now, just write those words. You are a champion. Hashtag keep on going, because Dave Anderson is going to talk about tonight how to maximize your impact, how to maximize your income, and how to grow your business. All right, Dave, talk about collaboration and working with other business owners, because I know what I'm seeing out there, and it happens not with everybody, but it's happening in my own tribe and with myself and even my colleagues, that sometimes they don't want to collaborate. They're afraid of, well, if you get to know my people, then you might take my people, or I'm not sure my people are going to be like you. And so that's one side of it. And then the other coin is, folks want to know, how do you go after some of these? You have celebrity names, man. How do you even bridge that gap? No, seriously, like, how do you do that? So two-part question. Everyone listen very carefully. Two-part question. Number one, how do you collaborate with others and make it work? Because he just had BullyCon. We'll talk about that later. And then secondly, how do you go after celebrity type of names of folks that you think might not be in your league, but you want to do something with them? Take it away, Dave.
All right, so collaboration. My grandfather was a 16-year-old kid that pissed off the wrong white man, and that white man happened to be a ranking member of the Ku Klux Klan, and he got a posse together, aka a lynch mob, and they were going to kill my grandfather. So my grandfather knew he had to make a run for it, so he ran through the night and found a naval recruiting station and lied about his age and joined the Navy. Sometimes that happens. You know, he didn't have like a real education, but he had a PhD in grandfather knowledge, and he would tell me things while he would have me change oil and lay concrete and build walls, you know, like a Donald Trump fantasy. And he would say to me, David, a candle will lose nothing by lighting another one. I'm not intimidated by anybody. I don't care who you are. If you want to make an impact on the world and you want to work with me in order to do that, I'm not afraid of losing a client to you. I'm not afraid of, not being the biggest name on the stage or being the biggest person in the room. What's for me is for me, and I'm always going to win. You know, my ego isn't caught up in that. My ego is in things where it should be. I have an ego about my wife. I have an ego about my daughters. I have an ego about my ability to help businesses be transformed. Like, that's what I care about. And so I'm not afraid of that. And so when you come from a place of, I want to serve and make it better for everybody, people pick up on that. I am absolutely everything that I say that I am. There's nothing false or phony about me. As my daddy would say, I don't put on airs. So that's what it is. You can collaborate with people when you're not coming from a place of, I'm doing this not to lose. I play to win. Mm-hmm. You know, Shay Brown has been on my stage. Yes. Trevor Ox has been on my stage. There's been 1,000,000,001 people who have been on my stage, all of whom have had offers, all of whom have had different things, and all of whom have made money with me. And lo and behold, I'm on Shay's platform, and I'm not like, hey, Shay, you stole 3 of my clients. Like, yeah, there's so much abundance in the world, and there's 8 billion people. Shay Brown and Dave Anderson would kill over and die before we got to them all. Yeah. You know, so that's part one. As far as celebrity goes, I think like anything else, it comes down to your ability to produce results. I watch so many people get mesmerized by, I'm going to say it because Shay Brown is too nice to, lackluster BS coaches that run around here with beach balls and DJs and lighting effects and strobe lights and, you know, bad wigs and buzzwords, and still have not been able to produce any particular results. I was producing Wendy Williams at 20. I put DJ Clue in 300 markets at 25. I took Rickey Smiley into 30 morning show syndicated markets and outranked Tom Joyner, Russ Parr, and Steve Harvey at 28. So at the end of the day, when you look at that and people begin to, like I said, success and consistency compounds over time. You know, the other part of it is if you're just starting out and you don't have the resume, focus on your results, what you've been able to do. I've taken single moms and put them in the 1% simply by tweaking things. It's not the big stuff. Like everybody thinks there's the big things. It's not the big things. it's the small things. It's the attention to detail. You know, like my last celebrity client signing just happened not that long ago, and she found me on Instagram. She was like, "I've seen everything that you're doing, and I'm blown away. And I don't know if I need a coach, but I know I just need to collaborate with you." But step one, show up consistently and don't have a microwave mentality, meaning that you don't, no one showed up in my live video today, I'm just going to give it up. You know, like, you got to continue to push, because you don't know who's watching, and you don't know who's connected to whoever else is that celebrity that you're looking to work with so bad. You know, also your mindset is so important. You know, if I want to work with somebody, the first thing I do is I concentrate on that person. I attract that person in my mind, and I look at what I have in my arsenal that can benefit that person. I don't come from a place of, ooh, that person's notoriety is going to do this for me. I come from a place of, I'm going to help that person be bigger. And when I help that person become bigger than what they already are, then you can still just back up the legend of the genius that is the business bully. And that's what it comes down to. People just want to be treated like people. Every celebrity I know can sit in the middle of a restaurant and nobody will bother them. It's when people start acting weird and creepy that it becomes a problem, or you're like, oh, like, get the groupie out your system and just say, look, this is what I have for you. I just want to serve, you know, whatever you need. These are the things that I offer. I saw that you had this hole in your programming. I saw that you like wigs. Well, this one is handmade. I thought it would fit you really nicely for your show. Here it is. This is my gift to you. Leave your contact info and keep it pushing. That's it. Sometimes a handwritten note can go a long way. You know, how do you show up? Do you show up like someone who is their answered prayer, or do you show up like Oliver Twist? Please, sir, might I have a celebrity client? Like, you know, you got to draw a line in the sand on who you're going to be. Are you going to come from a servant's place, or are you going to come from a place of, I'm big and bad, give me something because I exist? That's it.
You know, I love your heart. I love your heart to give and your heart to serve. Dave's talk about hashtag serve so big. And that's so true. I remember when I first met Dave, and I had opportunity to share some time on his platform. And this was several years ago, at a time when most folks were not allowing me on their platform for some good reasons, maybe not. And Dave said, man, if you can serve and you can help, then you're in. And that went a long way. It's a lot easier when someone's just a celebrity client, if you would. But what I like about Dave is he opens up the door for the person that can really serve his community and has a heart to give and a heart to serve. So Dave, for that, I want to acknowledge you, man, for just the type of person you are, a great human being, a guy who today drove his daughter all the way down to Howard University, which means nothing to you guys listening. That's about a 3-hour drive to pick his daughter up, take her to the doctor, take her back to Howard University. I know he's such a big softie. And then drive all the way back home to Philadelphia to be on this show. That's like a 6 to 8 hour day on the road, and he's here to serve you. And he would have never even told you that story. So I'm here to tell you that he has a heart to give and a heart to serve. Of course, he has daddy's little girl down there. He claims that's not the case, but who else would drive to take someone? She could have caught the bus, man. She could have took an Uber.
You know how expensive that Uber is?
It was a lot more. Your time was a lot. Daddy gonna come down there and get her. Hey, do me a favor. For everyone that's joining right now, Dave, is it okay if we can acknowledge the business owners? And this is a segment where I like for them to introduce themselves, because they can see you, Dave. They can see you with their eyes. They can hear you, Dave, but you can't see them. And you can't hear them. And you don't know what type of business they have right now. So here's what I like to do, Letitia. Here's what I like to do, Dee Wilkins. Here's what I like to do, Lisa Harris. Here's what I like to do, Donna Zimmerman. And all of you who are tuning in right now, thank you so much for all you're doing. Barbara Kelly, I see you out there. Anisha is in the house all the way from Las Vegas in the house. Darlene Morris. Anthony says, good evening all. Here's what I'd like you to do. Look below the video, and I want you to tell us what you do. Now, we don't care about your celebrity clients right now, okay? We don't care about how many letters you have behind your name, although that's cool. What I'd like you to do is look below the video and put, I help people, ... or I help businesses, ... And when you do that, you can put your website down. Is that okay, Dave? Can they put their website or their Facebook? I know they're advertising, but this is about collaboration. This is in the spirit of collaboration. So you look right below the video. And I want you to write, I help businesses, build their marketing and reach their target audience. Or I help people change their mind so it can transform their life. Whatever it is, you look right below the video, look right below the video. Now, after you do that, then you put your website down. After you do that, if you don't like your website, because most folks don't like their website anyway, I get that. Put your Facebook page, okay, or your Instagram page, and we're all going to connect because someone has the goal of finding you right now. And I want Dave to understand who's out there. And I want him to have an understand and be able to connect with you. And we may select one of you, and I might say, hey, Dave, is it okay if I call him? Is it okay if we talk to him? And maybe you ask your question. And Dave's kind of cool like that. We've never done that before, Dave. But Dave's kind of cool like that. He's the type of guy that would take a question on the spot and, let him worry about answering the question. I believe he can do that. So Brenda Graham, look right below the video. Donna Sherry Wallace, look right below the video and put, I help people, ... or I help businesses, ... and your website. And when we come back, we're going to acknowledge you, the entrepreneur, you, the business owner, you, the speaker, you, the author, the coach, or just the person that gets up every single day who wants to do what? Serve so big. Now, why did Dave, as they're writing that down, take a minute or two and just explain why should someone take a moment to write how they help people or how they help businesses, and why should they put their website down? Because someone's thinking, well, my website's not quite ready for that yet. Someone's thinking, oh gosh, I don't know what to say the right words. Dave, this is what you do, man. You coach people, you talk to people. So talk to them, my man.
Yeah. So the thing of it is, you just never know where that one person is coming from. I have clients on 3 continents, and the crazy thing is, my UK client is an amazing individual, and I said, how did you find me? Because I don't do any ads in the UK. I haven't gone on the BBC in years. So I was like, how did you find me? And she said, you gave a free talk in a group that I paid for. And I saw your video, and I said, what group? When was this? And she told me the group, and it was a video that I did 5 years ago. So I got a $15,000 client off of a free 10-minute video I did 5 years ago that I forgot about, just as a favor to a fellow colleague. Like, you never know what someone is looking for, but they can't find you if you don't put yourself out there. And it's not a, if you build it, they will come. It's if you show up where the people are. Being a father of a toddler and an adult daughter, the funny thing is, I watch a lot of little kiddie movies, and I have to take lessons from them because it's the only thing that I get to have. And I watched The Little Mermaid, and the one thing that stuck out to me as an adult is Ariel says, I want to be where the people are. And that's what you want to be. And so there are people here who might need your website. It ain't got to be perfect. Let's find out what you do and how you serve, how you show up, and we can help fix the rest of that. The only thing I can't fix is the broke and the stupid.
I love it, Dave. Dave, I know you may not have your computer up. Some folks are writing what they do, and then we're gonna. Don't worry, I'm gonna ask Dave if he'll take a question. He said he would. You might post a question in here. I may call you directly, but first we want to know what you do, right? We just came up with that segment, Dave. So you just hang in there with me. Hang in there, brother. Hang in there. But we got Letitia says, I help product and services based businesses close more sales online. CampbellSuccessNetwork.com. Way to go, Letitia. Donna Zimmerman said, I help aspiring entrepreneurs with learning how to build their business on a strong legal and financial foundation. She put her website there. I got to hit more, www.facebook.ubconference. Got it there. Dave, can you see the notes below by the chance on my page? No, I got it. Don't worry about that word because I want to ask you a question. Cynthia Green, what's up, Cynthia Green? I help couples shift from struggling to snuggling. That's kind of funny. www.marriagebuilttolast.com. What's up, Kim KP? Thanks for joining. Eric Ehrlich, my man with Dr. Ehrlich out there. Thanks a lot for joining. She is amazing, Sakisha. Rob Henson is in the house. Falola says, get it, Dave Anderson. See you. Joyce Williams says, my mission is to help black women make the holistic self-care lifestyle dope. Okay, I love it, but what's the problem? Now, you're supposed to put the problem. I help people, ... or I help businesses, ... I'm gonna ask Dave maybe they work with one of y'all, because this is y'all. Brenda Graham put, I help people optimize their health by DNA-based customized nutrition. Brenda.ufo4science.com. Thanks a lot, by the way. Nicole Brown Hurston said, I'm an author that helps people soar with help, hope, and healing by using my story, or using their story to create a support system. I love it, Dave. I love it. Look, when we come back, I'm going to ask Dave Anderson the secret to how do you, because he helps people do this. How do people entrepreneurs craft their message? How are they able to say and explain what they do? He's done this for clients. He's done this for others. He does this in his workshops. He does this over and over again. Why is this important? Because many of you watching right now, many of you are listening, wanted to write something down, and it's okay. This is not a beat me up session. You didn't know how to do it. Like, you didn't know a formula. You didn't know, what do I say? I help somebody. I tried to give you the sentence, but that wasn't enough for you. And I don't want you to ever miss an opportunity. It's not about Shay Brown. It's not about Dave Anderson, the bully, the business bully. It's about the people you were called to serve. And I always like to say that someone right now has the goal of finding someone like you. Like right now, like you are the aspirin to someone's headache right now. Right now. So I'm going to encourage you, when we come back, I'm going to encourage you, go ahead and write down what you do. I help people ... or I help businesses ... because no matter what you're doing, you've got to be able to do whatever it takes to make it happen, even if it's not perfect. We're going over to Anisha now over in Las Vegas. She talked about it. You know what? It takes what it takes. You got to just do it anyway. Let's go over to her now.
My name's Anisha Garrett from Elise & Co. And I am so excited to be here with you guys in the Happy Entrepreneur Tribe. You know what, guys? Today is my January 1st. I hope it's yours too, because what that means is I get to wake up and be so enthusiastic about taking on my goals. But I want you guys to understand this. This is so important when it comes to setting and accomplishing your goals. It takes what it takes. Now, I don't want you guys to be in a rush. So many of us are in a rush to get things done. There's a difference between being in a rush and moving with urgency. Urgency means you're putting deadlines behind it. You're staying accountable to it. Rushing leads to so many problems. One of the biggest problems that rushing can lead to is you tend to make mistakes. Silly mistakes because you're not paying attention to the details. And the details are what matter so much. It's what sets you apart. It's what makes you an elite, right? And that's what we are here. That's why we're here. That's why we're part of this community, because we are the next level of entrepreneurs. And so I want you to consider that. I want you to pay attention and understand that it just takes what it takes. You are where you need to be. You are doing a fantastic job. I don't want you to start moving and getting crazy and second guessing yourself, because it takes what it takes. The other thing that so many of us are doing, we're not taking the time to stop and smell the roses. Can you remember the last time you were on a road trip? So on a road trip, the best ones that I can remember, I was looking out the window. I was taking in the sights and sounds. I was enjoying the music, even though it was my husband's playlist, but I was enjoying all of the senses of that. And that's what I want you to do on this journey as you seek out to accomplish your goals. Remember, every day it can be your January 1st. You wake up and you get at it and you get in it with great enthusiasm. So I can't wait to see what you guys do next here in the Happy Entrepreneur Tribe. Thank you so much for allowing me to spend some time with you. And until I talk to you again, make it an amazing day. Make it an amazing week.
Make it an amazing day. Make it an amazing week. You're here at the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country. My name is Shay Brown. For those that are just joining, and on the other side, you have none other than the business bully, the one and only, not a business bully, but the business bully, Dave Anderson. And he's talking about, really, humility is for the weak. How to maximize your impact and income. We're going to get to income by being your most authentic self. And for those folks like Jacqueline who are just joining and listening right now, and some of you who are new to this, I want to stop for a moment and just share one of my favorite segments that's coming up that I love. And then I'm going to get to Dave, and we're not going to be business owners out there hanging. We're coming right back. But I want to talk about this whole concept, this whole mantra we have, that today is my January 1st. Today is my January 1st. Today is my January 1st. And the whole mindset, the whole belief system is kind of imagine where you were back on December 31st. You were excited. It was going to be a new year. after a couple drinks on the back of a cocktail napkin, you started writing down some goals. I'm going to do this. No, I'm going to do this. No, we're going to 10x this over here. And you were excited. And the next day you woke up and said, today is my January 1st. I've got to go to the gym. Today is my January 1st. I'm going to go after some new clients. Today is my January 1st. I've got to take advantage of my relationships. I got to improve my finances. And some of you are on track and some of you aren't. And life is a series of being on track and off track. So here's what I like to do now. And Dave, I'm going to ask you when you hear those words January 1st, what it means to you. But for everyone listening there, man, for everyone watching right now, I want you to look right below the video, and I want you to write these words. Today is my January 1st. I get a restart. Today is my January 1st. I get a rebirth. Today is my January 1st. I'm re-energized. I've got rocket fuel. I'm ready to get going. Today is my January 1st. Look right below the video, and I want you to write this affirmation down. And when someone else writes those words, today is my January 1st, I want you to hit the like button. I want you to hit the heart button. I want you to say, you know what? You can do this. So what are you going to do? Look right below the video, and write these words. Today is my January 1st. My past does not equal my future. The past is the past. I can't do anything about it, but I'm in the present moment. I can own the day and own my life. Today is what? Today is my January 1st. And just hearing those words, for some of you, you're going to get excited. For some of you, the energy is going to rise in you. For some of you, it's going to change your peak state. But I want Dave to talk about, that being important, but after you're inspired and after you're encouraged, you got to go do something. You got to take some action. So as you're looking right below the video, like Kim Caples, and put, today is my January 1st. Eric put, today is my January 1st. Donna Zimmerman put, today is my January 1st. Hit the heart button. Hit the like button. This is an opportunity for us to march into the future, because the future, by definition, doesn't exist. The future is imaginary. We never get to the future. We're always in the present moment. There's a moment, there's a moment, and there's a moment. And that's all we have is the present moment. So Dave, do me a favor, as Jacqueline is putting, today is my January 1st. And Anisha, I know you still, today is my January 1st. Do me a favor, David, just say, today is my January 1st.
Today and every day is my January 1st.
It's got to have its own remix. I like that. Today and every day is my January 1st. All right, let's try it again. Today and every day is my January 1st. Try it.
Today is my January 1st. Listen, here's what I want you to understand, right? Today and every day. No,
every day.
Every day. There's always going to be, like, what I hate about, New Year's and that whole thing is that everybody goes, this is going to be my year. And then you see these memes pop up on Instagram. Oh, 2017 was hardship. 2018 was practice. 2019 we got our butts kicked in. But 2020, that's going to be my vision year. Kill me now. What I want you to do is stop pumping yourself up unless you're actually going to be used as the ball that is going to score the points. There's no point in just pumping air into that situation if you're not actually going to take action, if you're not going to ride that bike, if you're not going to move the ball forward. And what happens is, if you get up on January 1st and you get all excited, you got your cup of coffee there, and you're still looking at the tinsel on the Christmas tree, and you haven't gotten it all down, you haven't finished writing that book, you figure you're going to knock that book out, and then all of a sudden you're looking at a blank screen for 3 hours, and you're like, oh, Lord, I didn't do it. Like, applaud yourself for taking that sentence and then expound on that sentence. One thing that I see people not doing enough, in order to capitalize on what it means to have a January 1st mindset 365, AKA 11365, is the idea that I can make what I want appear if I put in enough time, effort, energy, and work. And I think that we spend so much time beating ourselves up and we compare ourselves that we don't really think about what's going on up here. And so every day should be your January 1st, but the one thing that I don't want you to do is spend your entire day making resolutions that you're really not going to keep.
Powerful. So what's one way, Dave, that they can stay on track? What's a mantra, an affirmation, or something they can do? Because life is a series of being on track and off track. and then you're on track, and then you're off track. And what do you share with your clients who struggle with consistency? You heard this before, and Sakoni mentioned earlier, consistency is the key, consistency is the key, consistency is the key. But having said that, Dave, what do most people struggle with? Yeah.
Most people struggle with, like, when you campaign for your limitations, you elect to keep them. And what happens is some people are amazing campaign managers. And so what I see is that people say, well, I have a son or I have a daughter and it's hard. And I've got clients that have 5 kids and are making 5 figures, 6 figures a month. It literally comes down to what you choose to do and what systems you have. Number 2, we spend so much time on tasks that do not require us, but our egos are so massive and our insecurities are so massive that we're afraid to hand those things off to a virtual assistant or to a specialist or to hire a closer to close. If you're not a great salesperson, you don't get an extra cookie with sprinkles and chocolate chips on it just because you're doing it all yourself. That's not bootstrapping. That's just, taking the bootstrap and using it as butt floss. Like, you don't want to do that. You want to maximize what you're great at and let other people do the things that you don't necessarily need to be involved in. I promise you, Oprah's not sitting at a printing press making copies of O Magazine. Oprah's not pressing a button on, any programming that comes on the O network. She just shows up and goes, I love bread. Like, do that because that's what you're good at. Do the things that you're good at and let go of the menial stuff so that you can actually capitalize on your level of genius. No one's great at all things. I'm great at a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of stuff I'm not great at. I'm a real great visionary, but I might not be the most organized person. I might not have the best systems in place. So I hire people who can do that. That way, I'm not tied to it. I can go out of the country for a month and my business will still run. My clients will still be served. And that was a hard lesson for me to learn, but you don't get any cookie for doing it all yourself. You get the reward for doing it right. And it shows up in your bank account, as you would say.
That's right. That's right. The results that show up in your life are just as important as the results show up in your bank account. We're here with none other than Dave Anderson, the business bully, who's breaking it all the way down for us. And when we come back from this segment, we're going to talk about how to maximize your impact. And I'm going to ask him to add on the other I. Well, what's the other I, Shay? Income. Impact, income. Impact, income. Make $1 and a difference. If you're ready to make $1 and a difference, you make sure you come back when we're here. We'll be right back in just a moment. And in the meantime, if you're ready to serve in order to earn that $1, then look right below the video. And who do you collaborate with? Who do you network with? Who's the right person for you that's in it for the right reasons? You look right below the video. And if you want to collaborate with someone else, write hashtag serve so big. That's right, everybody. Hashtag serve so big. That's the bat signal we're going to send up. And that means when you see that, you say, oh man, that's the one that wants to serve, because they understand that selling equals service. And that's the person I need to collaborate with. So you look right below the video, right now, and write these words. Hashtag serve so big. What's the hashtag again? Hashtag serve so big. With that, we'll be right back. We're going over to my man, Anthony Abram, over in where? Austin, Texas. He said, look, Shay, you got to know your source. You got to know your source. And we come back, Dave Anderson going to talk about maximizing your impact. And now it's time to get the income. It's money time. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, folks? This is Anthony Abrams, and I am excited to be sharing with you guys on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Today is my January 1st. Now, look, today I'm going to be sharing with you guys 10 ways to maximize your potential. Again, 10 ways how to maximize your potential. But today, we're only going to talk about one. Now, look, the first step in maximizing your potential is this. You've got to know your source. I repeat, you got to know your source. Now, if you tuned in before, you saw me talk about how I sat down at the kitchen table, opened up the yellow pages or the white pages, and I began to call and find my dad. That's a true story. The reason, why did I do that? Because I grew up with my mom. I was like, had questions. Why am I so tall? Why am I bigger than everyone else? Why do I think this way? Why I had this bald head? You know what I'm talking about. I needed to know my source. The same thing happens with you guys. And consider this. You want to know your source. Once you know what you're made of and where you come from and what you're built from, then you get to understand how you can better charge out into the world and take advantage of what you were designed to do. Now, once I did that, my whole world transformed. I mean, I understood, oh, wow, this is why I think this way. And he supercharged my life and set me on a whole nother path. I want you guys to consider doing the exact same thing. And another thing is, when you're looking for your source, consider this. Consider understanding what is your spiritual source. It took me to a whole nother level. Now look, I got to get out of here, but I want you guys to tune in next week as I bring you step number 2. And remember, as always, sow good seeds, do good work, reap, then teach to repeat. Until next week. Peace.
Peace, none other than the Anthony Abram out there. Thanks to Anthony Abram. You're all watching the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country. You're here with the business bully himself, the man out of Philadelphia, Dave Anderson, and my name is Shay Brown. And now I've asked Dave if he would break down this whole concept, this whole idea of maximizing your impact and your income. How do you marry those two together? Because Dave, I know when I'm chatting with folks, and sometimes I get the calls, I get the text messages, and they're out there sharing how I'm walking in my purpose and this is my passion, but Shay, I'm unable to get paid. And what I like about Dave talks about building a platform. He talks about expanding your reach, and then you monetize your message. Notice, it's always about building the platform first. It's about building your tribe, and then making sure you have a message. Then you worry about monetization. But Dave, break down that whole thing of maximize impact and income. And how do you do both as an entrepreneur without feeling icky and sticky and like, oh my gosh, I got to ask them to buy something from me?
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? It's amazing to me how Louboutin has no problem charging $1,500 for a pair of shoes. Tiffany has no problem getting $1,500 for a paperclip. We have no problem standing in line for Michael Jordan sneakers. And my daughter was not alive when my oldest daughter was not alive when Michael Jordan played, but she's got like 13 pairs. I think that we have a relationship with compensation that is predicated on evil and loss and all of these things. And as a black man, and I can only speak from a black man's perspective, I will say that the average household does not have, according to studies, does not have $400 for an emergency, at any given time. And the thing of it is that we have to understand that money is our medicine. Money is not a bad thing, and so once we understand that when we have a gift and what you have, your unique thing, like the way Shay is like super happy, like Shay is like every time I talk to Shay, I literally have to take the phone and it's just like, it's a great day, Dave Anderson. I'm like, I'm awake now. But like, that's his gift. He knows how to like get in you and make you smile. He puts that smile on your face, and he still comes and he backs that up with his knowledge and his skill set. And the one thing that Shay, just for an example's sake, doesn't do is take his skills for granted. Just because you have a level of genius does not mean that everybody else has that same level of genius. And because people need your genius, they ought to have no problem in compensating you for it. So once you understand that conditioning, then you have to say to yourself, okay, these are my immediate needs. Like, you need to start doing some stupendous math and writing out what your needs are, what they look like. And on top of that, based upon the results that you're able to create. Once I started having people making, tens of thousands and then hundreds of thousands and in some cases millions, I said to myself, oh, these prices are going up. In 2016, it wasn't that way. In 2017, it wasn't that way. But in 2018 and 2019, when we started really snapping necks and cashing checks, we raised those prices. I've raised the investment 3 times, and then we're going to raise it again come January 1st. You have to be okay with that, because here's the thing. I know for a fact that even though what we do is expensive, I spend at least 3 hours a day between Instagram content, Facebook content, YouTube content, answering business questions for entrepreneurs for absolutely free, and I don't hold anything back. I give and give and give and give. I know that what I'm doing is worth it, because you can go to college and still come out. 300,000 people, according to the last U.S. Census, are bartenders. And all those 300,000 people who are bartenders in this particular demographic have masters in business administration. So you got an MBA, but you're making cosmopolitans? That tells me that you're working to pay off school, and school has not paid off for you. My people don't have a complaint because they're winning. And not just the celebrity folks. You got single moms building lingerie businesses. You've got young ladies doing boxes, subscription boxes for alumni, like College Care Club, like Karen Rosselli does. There's all these people who are making moves and making impacts and income, and actually being okay with knowing their worth. Why are we okay with what somebody else says? We're more excited to say, I make $100 an hour. Somebody told me that. I said, listen, you make $100 an hour. I made $15,000 in a phone call. One, not any follow-ups, not any of that other stuff. These are the systems that we teach. And once you understand that, and once you understand that you are unique, and Shay and I could literally coach the same person and get two very different results for that person based upon who that person is. And once you realize that there's 8 billion people on the planet, you don't get so weak and worry about things you can't control, but you've got to realize that everything requires money. Everything requires money. There's an old song when I was a kid. My mom used to play it in the living room and said, ain't nothing going on but the rent. Ain't no romance without finance. Why are you letting people romance you without finance? Even prostitutes know better than that. That's all I got.
I love it, Dave. I love it. I love it, Dave. Dave, one of the questions that I have for you is that, when you're talking to some of your clients, or even potential clients or prospects, or answering these questions, what do you say to the person that's hearing you right now and they're saying to themselves, you know what, Dave, you've got a lot going on, Dave. And I have invested money, Dave. I've been to this boot camp. I've had this bag of goodies. I've got this tape and all these books over here. I work with this coach and that coach. And Dave, it just isn't working for me. And so what do you tell that person? How do you respond to that person who's listening right now? Or they're just afraid, like, oh gosh, do I have to spend money? Can't I just go learn on YouTube? Isn't there an easier way? What is your response? Because that's like real talk, right? I mean, I'm telling you what kind of happens. I'm just curious what you say, by the way. I'm not worried about what they're thinking. I know listeners like, why is she asking that question? I'm curious, like, what do you say to that person? Like, what goes through your mind first, Dave? What goes through your mind? Don't keep it clean, because I know how you are. But what goes through your mind?
I haven't let a cuss go all night.
You haven't even, man. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you.
In all seriousness, though, Shay, here's what goes through my mind. I was talking to a young lady who had spent well over $10,000 on coaches, and she didn't even have her LLC registered yet. She didn't understand merchant accounts. She wasn't making a dime in her business. And what made it so bad was she lost her husband, and that was part of her insurance money, from her husband. And, meanwhile, one of those coaches that she worked with is living overseas, snapping necks and cashing checks, and not in a Dave Anderson type of way. And I felt horrible for her, because I'm like, two things. Number one, you should have come to me first. Number two, you always got to do your due diligence. What separates me from most people is I can actually show you real people, not somebody I paid on Fiverr to give me a fake endorsement. I can show you real receipts. I can show you real numbers. I can track those things. And I understand that you've been hurt before. I call it battered coaches syndrome, meaning that a coach came and beat you up and beat you out of that money, but didn't give you any type of return on investment. I don't have a cost, I have an investment. And it's my job to help you get a return. The only thing I can't do is make you do the work. And that's the other part. We have this coaching swell that's happening right now. We've got all these certified professional coaches out here, but yet and still, no one is putting up any numbers. Because when I start talking to other coaches who want to challenge me or say these different things, I'm like, okay, how much did your clients make in revenue last year? Then, I don't need to talk numbers. No, that's the only thing you need to talk about. You can have a Jordan versus LeBron conversation all day, but until LeBron gets 6 rings, he ain't the greatest. And so that's what it comes down to. Can your coach actually help you? Have they had experience in what it is that you do? Do they understand the fundamentals? Can they help you build systems? What does their team look like? What services do they offer? What do they specialize in? And what do they do from a service standpoint? Will they put you on the stage? Will they teach you media? Will they make a phone call from all those celebrities that they know to put you there? If you have a booth that you can't man to sell your product, will they come down off of their high horse and man that booth for you? If they won't do those things for you, that's not the coach for you. Everything that I just described, I've done. I will go, to the ends of the earth for my clients because nobody went to the ends of the earth for me. And I had to figure that out, and I realized that once you have those things in place, you can move mountains. These masterminds are about the egos of other coaches. I don't have a mastermind, I have a gang. Because the gang will continue whether or not the leader is there. The gang realizes that if one of us has a problem, we all have a problem. And when you come from that place and you realize that you're supported by other people who are not trying to slit your throat. I've got people who, literally, I've got 3 people who are in my 1% Inner Circle, my gang, and they're all single moms that focus on helping single moms, but they have 2 or 3 different styles in how they do it. And they're all collaborating. They're all helping each other, even though they have an audience that may overlap. And no one's afraid of anybody because no one's coming in the spirit of competition. We're coming in the spirit of collaboration. And we realize that, hey, what's that old saying? 1 + 1 is 2, but 1 and 1 = 11. Hashtag 11 on them. So that's what it is, and when you talk results, the rest of that doesn't matter. I don't care if you like me. I don't like my trainer, but you know what I do like? Losing weight. It's not a personal thing. We're in business. It's not show feelings. It's show business. I love it. It's not online love. It's online marketing. The online love is a different coach. I got that's what it is, man. So if you want to really make your income what it is, start charging people. And you'll also see that when you start charging people more, they show up. People aren't invested at $97 and $47 and $100. They're not invested as much as they are when they're putting down 4 and 5 figures, because now they gotta make it work. And when they gotta make it work, they are more apt to listen because there's no turning back. You got to be ready to burn the boats.
Wow, you got to be ready to burn the boats. You're here with none other than Dave Anderson, the business bully. You're watching the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country. We'll be back in just a moment. When we come back, I'm going to ask Dave, and he's going to reveal over the next 90 days. And for some of you, where we are this time of the year, doesn't matter. Where we are this time of the year, the next 90 days are the most important 90 days. And I'm going to ask David, what does he see and what does he share with his clients, some things they can do. He's also going to share how you can connect with him. Many of you are watching right now will say, I like to just have a conversation with the guy. I like to hear more about what he does. So back in just a moment, I want to recognize Lawrence McNair, who's out there. What's up, Lawrence? Regina, thanks for joining. Falola, I see your comments. I love it. Thank you so much. Donna Zimmerman, thank you so much. Nicole Brown Hurston, thank you so much. Dee Wilkins, always a pleasure. Siobhan Woodward, thank you so much. Brenda Graham, we love you. For everyone that's out there watching right now, do me a favor. If Dave is giving you some value, if you feel him, I want you to do me a favor. Don't write ching ching. That's for the money. Don't write ching ching. Look right below the video and just write great job, Dave. Just look right below the video and say thank you, Dave. Look right below the video and say you are awesome, Dave. Dave took time today after driving 2.5 hours to see his daughter at a college campus, Howard University, take her to her doctor's appointment, go back to Howard University, and drive another 2.5+ hours back home just to be seated where he is right now because of a commitment he made to the Happy Entrepreneur Tribe, and he wouldn't miss it for all the world. So do me a favor, look right below the video, and just say, thank you, Dave. Dave, we appreciate you. Dave, great job. And let's just acknowledge it because, sometimes you need someone to say great job, right? And so do that. Look right below the video. And why do you do that? Because you show your appreciation. So if you're looking right below the video, I see Jacqueline Fulton has started off and she said, great job, Dave. So Dave, you're giving it up. Now they want to know what they need to do over the next 90 days, right? They want to know what they need to do and how to connect with you. We'll come back. We'll do that for them. Brenda Graham said, burning all the dang boats. Thanks, Dave. That's what she's going to do. Emmanuel says, great job, Dave. April N. Phil says, thank you, Dave. D. Wilkins, who's out there, says, thank you, Dave. T. Jordan says, thank you so much, Dave. They're coming in 3 different places. Anisha says, you are awesome, Dave. I appreciate you. I'm on the other side. Celia Shabazz says, thank you, Dave. Annette Smith is watching. Thank you, Dave. Valencia Goodson says, thank you, Dave. Back over this side. Terrence Wilson says, great job, Dave. Donna Zimmerman says, thank you, Dave, for sharing your wonderful. We appreciate you. And Shay Brown, thanks a lot. Jacqueline Taylor Adams says, thank you, Dave. I appreciate you. For all those folks, let's look below the video. This is an opportunity to give them a little happy entrepreneur love, to say thank you so much, man. When someone gives it their time, again, he never asked for a cash app. Nope, I didn't have to give that before we started. Didn't say wire me some money over. Nope, we didn't do that either. No checks, no credit cards. Just I'm here to serve and give the best I have. So we're going to ask them how to connect with them. Nicole Brown Hurston says, great job, Dave. You are on fire. Look, the best is still yet to come. He's going to come down with what you got to do over the next 90 days, how you can connect with him, and why it's important. We'll be back in just a moment. Now, for those folks that are wondering, can I have it all? Is it even possible? Is that true? We're going over to none other than Dr. Kim Warren Martin out of Silicon Valley. She now just moved over to Little Rock, Arkansas. She's going to share her message with us, and we'll be back in just a moment. Selena said, thank you.
Hey there, happy entrepreneurs. This is Dr. Kim Warren Martin, founder of Successful and Fulfilled. And I'm excited because today is my January 1st. And because I get to bring you my thought of the week here on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. You guys are awesome. This week's thought is, you can #have it all. When I was in corporate America, I ran a global women's initiative to help women get to the top of a corporation. And there was a lot of talk about work-life balance, work-life management, etc. And one thought that circulated was that you simply cannot have it all. Another thought was you can have it all, just not all at once. Well, neither idea was comforting to women who desired both success and fulfillment. So what I learned was that for most people, it all is defined externally and comes through conditioning from our families, our schools, TV, etc. But since then, I've discovered that you can #have it all as long as you're the one who defines what it all means. So how do you do that? Well, a simple first step is to begin by answering the following 3 questions. Number 1, who am I? Number 2, what do I want? And number 3, why do I want it? When you answer these questions, do it on paper and be very transparent and do it in a space where you won't be disturbed. And what you'll want to do is answer each question 7 times. So for example, you'll want to ask yourself, who am I? And answer it 7 times without repeating a single response. You'll find that the final response to each question typically gets to the core of the question itself. So it'll get to the core of who you are, what you want, and why you want it. Now that's a very simple step to get started defining what it all means to you. So that's my thought of the week here on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. You can #have it all. I'm Dr. Kim Warren Martin, founder of Successful and Fulfilled. Until next week, make it a great day. Back over to you, Shay.
You can have it all. You can have it all. Someone look right below the video. Look right below the video. And why are you writing these notes? For all the folks that are listening to the podcast, why are you writing these notes and making this digital on this digital notebook board? For all the folks listening to the conference calls or maybe listen to the replay, these videos go viral and it's your way of giving back in. So look right below the video and just write these words down on this digital board. #you can have it all. #you can have it all. What's the hashtag again? You can have it all. Why are you writing those words? Because Dave Anderson, the business bully, the person himself who's been on the Breakfast Morning Show, the person himself who's been in the Huffington Post, the person who's helped celebrity client after celebrity client after celebrity client, the person who's helped single moms and business owners grow all over the world, Dave Anderson, the business bully, is going to share what he would share with his clients when they ask the question, Dave, over the next 90 days, as a business owner, where should my focus be? What are 3 areas that I should be focusing on, Dave? In fact, Dave, don't worry. Check your Cash App. I just made my $5,000 payment, and it's in good faith. It's the first installment. And Dave's on the other side, and Dave's like, okay, it was first installment. I guess I got to go to work. Guess I got to do something. And so if I was you right now, if you want to help another business owner, Clifford, Starks, I see you. If you want to pay this message forward, if that's you right now, when Dave starts talking, you look right below the video and say, hashtag, at somebody, you need to hear this. At somebody, you need to hear this. And you tag another entrepreneur, and you tag them in, and Dave is sharing this. Now, when he finishes sharing it, he's going to say, here's how to connect with me, right? He's going to, look, it's all good, it's all cool, but he's going to get some value. So you're going to get it, and that's okay for you. But it's not just for you. You're going to pay it for it. So, Dave, lay it out us, man. We got 90 days, man. We want this not to be our best 90 days ever, not to be our most productive 90 days ever, but we want to make sure that we are touching the people's lives that we were called to touch. And we need those resources. We're ready in our business to be serious. We wouldn't be watching if we didn't believe. So talk to us now, Dave. Give us those 3 areas we should focus on and why. 5 grand, man, or whatever the number is. It doesn't really matter. Dave would give it to you anyway. Over to you, Dave.
So here's the thing. The first thing that I would tell someone to do in the next 90 days is drop the humility. Please. Humility is for the weak. Here's what I mean. Humility is a tool used by people who are lesser than you, but have higher authority over you, your teachers, your principals, your boss, your spouses, your family members, to say, oh, don't get too big for your britches. Well, how am I supposed to grow if I don't get too big for my britches? Like, logically, you're supposed to grow, you're supposed to change, you're supposed to evolve. They, in the NFL, if you spike the football after running in a 50-yard touchdown, they might find you for excessive celebration. What the hell is excessive celebration? That is an attempt to make you humble. It is to break you. Humility comes from the word humulus, which basically means a low opinion of one's own greatness. Now, see, I've got people now who I'm not going to name names, but I got people now in my inbox saying, hey, I just helped 3 people as a coach quit their jobs, but I was afraid to brag on it because I didn't want people to look at me the wrong way. No, receipts and results are all there are. The whole rest and relaxation, that's a different type of R&R. Receipts and results are extremely important. So drop the humility. Let people know what you've done. When you look at ancient times when we were an oral society, when we did not have or develop the written word as of yet, we would tell stories in order for people to know about the great adventures that we've had part in, the things that we've done, the dragons we've slayed, the beasts that we've killed, the villages we've conquered. So you got to drop the humility and start letting people know, like, look. Like when people say, well, why should I listen to Dave Anderson? Well, last year I had 27 million. This year I have 4 million reasons as to why you should. So, yeah, I'm not going to be humble about that. I don't care what Kendrick Lamar says, and I don't care how many records he says selling it. So, number one, you need to drop the humility, meaning do what the Bible says do. Don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's important. The second thing I would tell you to do, and this is extremely important, is get an education and not a degree. Meaning you need to learn from someone who can actually teach you what it is that you need to know. You need to find someone who has actually done. This is the part that you're not going to like. You have to teach and be taught by someone who has actually done what you want to do, who has been where you're trying to be. No one can teach you how to get on the Breakfast Club if they've never been on the Breakfast Club. No one can teach you how to get booked on Good Morning America if they have not been booked on Good Morning America. Most people can't get you in the Business Insider. Most people can't tell you how to double your revenue in 60 days if they've never done it. Most people can't tell you how to beat homelessness if they've never been homeless. So stop getting advice from people who have theories. My mother, as a teacher, had a principal once come to her who was younger than I was at the time. The guy was like 31, and he was trying to tell her what she needed to do to improve her teaching technique. And while that was laughable, my mother's one of the most decorated teachers in the city, and she was like, "Oh, that's cool. You just got your principal's certificate, didn't you? Good on you. I don't think you can teach me much from books. How many hours have you spent in the classroom? Well, I've observed that. No. How many hours have you taught? None. So you don't take expert advice from people with absolutely no expertise. And that's like going to business school and you see these business professors and they haven't run a business since Reagan had black hair without the dye. So that's step 2. Get good education. Learn the difference between an education and a degree. I educate people every single day, and I don't confer degrees on anybody. And finally, you need to be omnipresent. You need to be wherever the people are. You have got to take advantage of social. You've got to take advantage of traditional media. Don't turn your nose up at a podcast. You need to get in those Facebook groups that fit your ideal target and go there. You need to start looking up hashtags that fit, your lifestyle. So if you are a podcaster and you're trying to grow your podcast, and if you're Black, let's say, look up the hashtag pods in color, and you'll see how many different Black podcasts there are, Black podcasters, things of that nature. You need to figure out where you are and what those people can do for you, because that's when you start collaborating, and that's when you start growing. When people can see that you're everywhere, then they want to be everywhere you are. So that's what I would teach my clients. Lose the humility, get some real education about yourself, and be everywhere your ideal client is. Those are my main 3 things I would do in the next 90 days.
Wow, well said, Dave. Thank you so much. You're all watching Dave Anderson, the business bully, here on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We come back, we'll have Dave's final comments. Now, Dave, you didn't mention how they can connect with you, so we come back, I want to make sure that you add on how they can connect with you and the type of clients that you work with. So they're kind of clear, because they may be thinking, hey, you only work with clients at a certain level. You mentioned a whole range. So we come back, Dave will talk about a little bit about the type of clients he work with, some of the successes they have, and how to connect with him. Because maybe you're for Dave, maybe you're not. But you'll at least be able to find out. Dave, will you do that when we come back?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. We're going to go over to Dorsey Hill. Dorsey Hill's over in Houston, Texas. I love it because he talks about boundaries. And over the next 90 days, you've got to set boundaries of what you're going to do and you're not going to do, because your time is the most important resource you have. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hello, hi, howdy. I am Dorsey Hill. My company is Dorsey Hill Global, and I'm the founder of the Healthy, Happy, Fun Life Academy, Mastermind, and Network. And today is my January 1. Yay! And I'm super excited to be here with the fantabulous Happy Entrepreneur Tribe to share my thought of the week on boundaries. And I'm going to start with the sentence no. Yes, I said sentence because no is a complete sentence. And too many times as entrepreneurs, we say yes to all the things, when in reality, we are not serving ourselves best by saying yes to all the things, when we should be saying no so that we can say yes to the things that are most important to move the needle for us in our business. And guys, no is really so simple. It doesn't take much to get used to it, and it means nothing about us when we say no, except that we have learned to set boundaries in place to say, I have things to do, I have my mission, I have a plan for this world, and I can't make that happen and be who I need to be when I'm saying yes to all of the things. Saying no really does open the doors to all the yes opportunities that are just waiting in line for you. And one of the things I love to ask people is, what do you not understand about the word no? Is it the N, the O, or the space in between you're just not understanding? Because no means no. And it's a complete sentence, and it's okay to say it and be comfortable with it. Well, I hope you guys have a fabulous week, and my wish for each and every one of you is that you're healthy, happy, and have a ton of fun in this life that you're living. Big Texas love and hugs to each and every one of you. Bye for now.
Big Texas love. We're back over here at the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country. We're having an open, a frank, a real conversation with Dave Anderson, the business bully, the man that helps folks grow their business, helps them reach their target audience, helps them have more impact and make more income, helps them really have more meaning in the world, and the money does come. I always say, don't chase the money. Add value and the money will chase you. I'll say it again. Don't chase the money. Add value and the money will chase you. And that's one of the reasons I love to say that, because that's what Dave does. That's what he exemplifies. And that's what he teaches his clients. Add value and don't worry, the money will come. So Dave, as you're listening now, and I know we'll have your final comments in a moment, but just rapid fire, a couple of rapid fire questions. Number one, what type of clients do you work with? And if someone's listening right now, and I like to at least have a conversation, I like to share with Dave my situation. Maybe Dave's the right person. Maybe his team is the right person. Maybe he refers me to someone. Number one, type of client type of clients you work with, and number two, how can they connect with you?
Okay. The type of clients I work with, primarily authors, speakers, coaches, service-based business, digital marketers. That's what we specialize in. We do have some cases where it's more retail and things of that nature, but those things are rare. But authors, speakers, coaches, digital marketers, service-based businesses. And as far as working with me, everybody's not a good fit. And we've come to that realization. Like, I hate it when people say, I can help everybody. I can't. Listen, I realize that there's two kinds of doctors. The ones that go and become the general practitioner, the old country doctor with the house calls. And then there's the brain surgeon that comes in for an hour, fixes the brain, and goes and leaves with a Lamborghini to his private jet, to his private island. Same amount of schooling. One's a specialist, the other one's a generalist. And so we specialize in helping people get their money and their message to mesh. And so if you are interested in applying and working with us, and if you want to have a conversation with me, not my team, not my staff, if you're interested in having a conversation with me, you can check out a case study we just did at bit.ly/bully growth. bit.ly/bully growth. And there is an application you can apply and then get on my calendar. And, we can talk about whether or not you're a good fit. I tell people all the time, like, if you are not willing to invest in yourself, I don't want to talk to you. And I'm not just talking financially. I'm talking about time. I'm talking about effort, because we are no frills. We're not going to, give you glitter and vision boards. We're going to make you work. And the difference is everybody has to work hard, but it's what you're working hard at. My daddy said it's not how many people you hit, it's who you hit that matters, and that carried me through life. And that's how I believe. I know how to look at a situation and say, okay, this is where your problem is. Boom, hit that person in the mouth. And then, everything will change up. So yeah, that's at bit.ly/bully growth, all lowercase, all one word. And yeah, man, I'm definitely interested in talking to people who are really ready to make it happen and commit to themselves.
Well, I'm going to encourage every single one of you who are watching right now to go ahead and connect with Dave Anderson, the business bully. You won't be disappointed. Worst case scenario is you show up and he gives you one idea that you can use for the rest of your life. Best case scenario is you take a step, you get the one idea, you work with them, and it changes your life and changes your business. Either way, it's a win-win situation. Dave, give them that website just one more time.
Absolutely. bit.ly/bully growth. And if that's too difficult to remember, if you go to businessbullyshow.com, there's a link to apply there too.
Fantastic. When we come back, we're going to have Dave Anderson give us his final thoughts. He'll give us his final thoughts. Go out and we have to do what we do best. The lights will go off, the music stops, and at some point it's going to be you, a phone, a computer, your team, and you've got to do something. So I'm going to ask him to give us his final closing comments. You're here with none other than Dave Anderson, the business bully, on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We're going to go over to Dr. Shayna Lewis. She's going to talk about now is your time. And we come back, Dave's going to close it out with his final thoughts. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey family, this is your girl, Dr. Shayna, and founder of Your Extraordinary Life Network. And today is my January 1st. And I'm super excited to be here with you again in the Happy Entrepreneur Tribe with the thought for the week. My thought for this week is, now is the time. Now is the time. One of the things that I know is that many of us will wait for the perfect time before we make any moves. The perfect time to get married, the perfect time to buy a house, the perfect time to have a baby, the perfect time to switch jobs, the perfect time to become an entrepreneur. This is the thing that I know. There is no perfect time. You see, while we wait on the perfect time, you're really waiting on a unicorn that you're never actually going to find. Because the answer is, all you really got is right now. I'm reminded of the time when I was actually considering becoming an entrepreneur myself, and I was waiting on the perfect time. But one day I was sitting at home with my brand new baby girl on leave, and I remember thinking to myself, there is no way I can go back to anybody else's job and not be in control of the time I get to spend with my little ones. Was it a perfect time? Absolutely not. But was it the time? Absolutely it was. So what I want you to do is think about what is something that you've been sitting on, waiting on the perfect time to show up. What happens is you may actually miss a perfect opportunity while you wait on a perfect time. So instead of doing that, decide what that thing is right now today and move. Stop waiting on the perfect time and understand that all you really got is right now, because now is the time. Here's to your extraordinary life. Till next time.
Now is your time. This is your moment, and you're going to claim it. You're going to claim it. I know every single one of you, you're a freak of nature, right? You're incredible. You've been given these gifts. You've been given these talents. You've been given the ability. You've been given everything you need to succeed. Yeah, now is your time. Dave Anderson, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate what you went through to be here. There's two parts to this, right? Part one is you're here. And I know you don't want to keep mentioning it, but it's what you did and went through to be here for the folks this evening. And that says so much about you. It says you have a heart to give. You have a heart to serve. So we want to thank you for that. We know that you're also a family man. We know you got your wife and your daughter that's 4 years old, I believe, and your other daughter who's at Howard University. Before you give your final thoughts, if you're speaking to your daughter right now that's at Howard University, what would you say to her right now?
The world is a huge place, and there's so much that you can do in it. And the one thing that I would say to my daughter, that I would say to anybody, is the biggest mistake that people make is waiting until they grow up, or waiting until they're ready, and waiting until they're satisfied with where they are. I'm right now, I've never been ready for anything. Do you think at 19, 20 years old, I was ready to produce Wendy Williams, who had just left New York unceremoniously? Hell no, I wasn't ready. But guess what? I got ready real quick. Did I know what it would take to put DJ Clue and 300 Marcus for a weekend show? No, but I got ready real quick. When George Wallace was like, hey, kid, come write these jokes for me, I had never written for that level of a comedian, especially for a Vegas show, but I got ready real quick, and the reason I was able to get ready so quick is because I stayed ready. I'm always open to the possibilities. I say yes to things you should say yes to, not because, I don't have the qualifications yet. I don't have it all figured out yet. Listen, you can figure it out. Even some of the worst writers in the world have had New York Times bestsellers because they've had great editors. You can always go back and fix it. You don't never get an opportunity to get a first shot at something else. Again, there's one shot. And once you say no, you've already planted the seed of doubt that you're not the go-to person. I'm not saying fake it until you make it. I'm saying step up your learning and step up your ability and your willingness to get it done at whatever cost that takes. Puff Daddy has sold 85 million records and has yet to play an instrument. Do that. Go there. I want you to understand that you're worth more. I want you to understand that you can do absolutely anything that you choose to do if you're willing to put in the work and if you're willing to make those sacrifices.
Well said. Well said. And I can't leave the other daughter. I know she's 4 years old, man. She may go back one day and see this video recorded and heard you speaking to your daughter who was at Howard University. And by the time she even wants to listen to you, she might be back at Howard University. You might have your second one there, my man. And we're about to go right now. But can you just talk to her now? I know she's 4 years old. And what would you say to your 4-year-old who may watch this, see this one day?
You're loud. You're boisterous. You're insistent. You're pushy. You want to be heard. You want to be in the mix. You've got all of these things you're trying to figure out. And the only other person I know is like that is your father. And as your daddy, I would tell you that that's okay. Be who you are. The world is not going to understand, and they're not supposed to. Genius is never appreciated until genius is dead. And so stand in your genius. The other thing of it is that I would want you to open the Bible and read that passage. I believe it's Matthew 5:15, where it says, don't hide your light under a bushel, but make it plain for all to see so that there's a glory to God. And that's where the song, This Little Light of Mine, comes from. But we diminish our light for our spouses because we don't want them to feel insecure. We diminish our light for our bosses because we don't want to outshine them. We diminish our light on the stage because we don't want to upset the promoter or the headliner. Like, no, I am here, and I'm here because God made me, and God don't make no mistakes. So I'm not going to interrupt his greatness that he put in me to make you feel better because you have not stepped your level up or had the experiences that I've had. Be bold, be unapologetic. You are a beautiful Black queen. You can do whatever you want to, and no one should ever hold you back from anything, least of all yourself. That's what I would tell my 4-year-old.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. And I know you're, as we're listening right now, I know the hourglass is draining on all of us. Time is undefeated. And, you know, when the day comes and you move on to your heavenly home, how do you want people to remember Dave Anderson, the business bully? What do you want them to remember about you, man?
You know, I told my wife when I'm cremated, I want her to put a little thing under my urn that says, here are the remains of Dave Anderson. You always knew where you stood with him. There's no gray area. If I don't like you, you know I don't like you. If I think you're phenomenal, I've already told you. If you wanted to know if I loved you, then obviously you should know because I tell you, you know, and I'll tell anybody, you know, if they've made an impact on my life, whether they're male, female, cisgender, transgender, gay, straight, you know, or whatever. I love you because life is short. And I believe that love isn't always hugs and kisses. I believe sometimes love is you're messing up, do better. You know, because I tell my clients, and this is one thing that I've never said publicly, I tell my clients all the time, oh, you're okay with being mediocre? That's fine. Unfortunately for you, you're robbing your children, and you can't do that on my watch. Mm-hmm. So once you realize that your commitment to mediocrity has now outweighed your commitment to your children and your legacy and your responsibility to make sure that they're taken care of if you get hit by a bus, struck by lightning, or alien abduction, then you need to step it up. And that's what it is. Like, there's no tomorrow. There's no oops. I could go lay my head down, God forbid, and that would be that for my kids. You know, what did I store in them? You know, if I die, 5 books will come out. It'll be like Tupac. Like, I'm not playing. Yeah. You know, look at Carnegie. Look at Dr. Wayne Dyer. Look at all these people that have died and their families are still eating. Like, that's where you need to start building. Build your legacy, not for yourself, but for your future. I want to be remembered because I was great, not because I was somebody's Black derivative or not because I made people millions. I want to be remembered because I was great and I went out trying to help people be better, not by anybody's limitations, but by the definition of their dreams. And so that's all I want.
Man, I appreciate you once again, my brother. Thanks for being on the show. We want to have you back, obviously, man. Got to have you back on the show. Of course, we won't hold you as long. I know you're like in triple overtime right now, but you rolling with the punches, man. This is like triple overtime. You're like, Shay, this is triple overtime. Like, when does it? Look, man, you're here. We appreciate you. The people appreciate you. Everyone out there that's listening right now, just look right below the video and put Go Dave Go. Just put Go Dave Go. It's been amazing. He's been incredible. He's broke this thing down for us, and boy, do we appreciate it. Dave, I'd like for you to have your final comments, man. You're talking to the entrepreneurs, the speakers, the authors, the coaches, the network marketers, the infopreneurs that you mentioned, and some of them are doing really, really well. And they've got to keep the pedal to the metal. And there's a group of them out there that are having like yo-yo entrepreneur income, right? It's going up and down, up and down. That's okay. And your message will resonate with them. And there's another handful of folks out there, Dave. Life's kind of smacked them in the face, if you will. They're lying on their back. And they bounce. They've hit the ground hard. Now they got to bounce back up. So, you know, all I would like for you to do, if you would, is take a few moments and just share your words, your thoughts of encouragement as we go out there and we make a difference in the world, man. So I turn over to you. Once again, thank you for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show, man. Thank you for sharing your time, your talent, and your treasure, and giving of your expertise and experience, man. We appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to having you back on, my brother.
Thank you, man. Real quick, I want to let people know whether you are making it happen consistently or you can't figure it out. There's a thing I have. You know how there's like duck season and rabbit season? Yeah. Well, around my circle, we have this thing called foot on neck season. And I wake up every day and I ask myself, do I have my foot on the competition's neck? Are they pissed off at me yet? Have I disrupted the system? See, the most important piece in the washing machine is the agitator, because without the agitator, it doesn't matter how much soap or how much water you have, because it's just sitting there. The agitator stirs things up. You know, it changes the environment. And so what I need you to do is really start stirring things up, start making changes, start celebrating your wins, start myth busting against these folks that aren't doing what you have and aren't bringing what you have to the table. Like, take it up a notch, really kick it in. If you don't know how to do that, very simply go to bit.ly/bully growth, and I will show you how to do it and do it at a profit. Don't worry about the money. We will show you how to make the money. What I need you to do is make the mindset. Because once you got the mindset, then your mind becomes the money machine. And once that happens, make your head pop off.
I love it, Dave, man. Thanks a lot. Once again, for everyone that's been watching, you're listening to none other than the one and the only Dave Anderson, the business bully. You've been watching on the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country. I want to let you know that we appreciate you. Every single one of you who show up, take your time to write notes on the digital board so that someone can be blessed. We thank you for that. For every single one of you, hit the share button. We thank you, or you paid this message for it. Thank you. Many of you tell your friends, or you tell your colleagues, or you tell folks that you know about the show. So because of you, we are here. Not myself and Dave, but the show is here for you to inspire, to empower, and to provide you the resources you need in order for you to execute the vision you have for the people you were called to serve. So thanks so much for watching the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you, and I know with 100% certainty that the best is yet to come for you. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. When you wake up tomorrow morning, tell yourself the best is yet to come. Why? Not because you believe it, because you're going to make it happen. This is your time. You will do it. With that being said, my name, by the way, for those folks that don't know, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we're going to make some good things happen. We connect again next time. God bless, and I wish you all success. Thanks a lot, Dave, man. I appreciate you, man. You rock.
My man.
Go ahead and give a big standing ovation for the one and the only Shay Brown.
And I'm here right now in this moment with none other than the one and only Dr. Willie Jolly. What's up, my friend?
It's a privilege and a pleasure and a treat and a treasure to be in your presence.
All right, Delator, we're going to get started. You ready, Delator?
I'm ready, friend.
You ready, Dr. Kennett?
Ready.
None other than Andy Henriquez. And we have someone like a Dr. Sonia, who's a bad sister. All right, now, go ahead with your bad self. None other than the Kim Warren Martin. That's the promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown. Mic check, mic check. All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. Yes. Yeah. And they stay there, and they stay there.